Hey, another episode of the Left, Right, Left podcast, the best garage podcast in Prince William County, Virginia. Today's episode will be specifically focusing on the Amphibious Assault Vehicle Memorial. I have joining me no other than Col John Atkinson, retired United States Marine Corps, hailing on Newport, Rhode Island, where he's currently a Naval War College professor, and he is the national chairman of the Amphibious Assault Vehicle Memorial. And John, thank you for joining me this evening. I really appreciate it, man. I'm really fired up to talk to you on camera today and to promote the memorial. So over to you, sir. Tell everybody a little bit about your experience in the AAV community, please.
All right. Hey, Sergeant Major Mark, my good friend and mentor for a long, long time. It's really great to be with you. I'm so proud of what you're doing. I'm not happy that I got to follow up on your great interview of our other mutual friend, Sergeant Major J.D. LeHew, who's also involved in this memorial and association effort. But thanks for doing that to me. It's never great to follow a guy like that.
Easy.
So, no, Mark, this is great. I appreciate the opportunity. This is all about the AAV community, track community, not about us. And it's about being Semper Fidelis in action, making sure our legacy lives on. The one that we were entrusted with, we have an obligation to hand it down and make sure the young men and women are going to take ACVs in the battle, know that they're trackers as well. To being blessed, frankly, with being selected for this MOS coming out of the basic school. I went there wanting to be a grunt, and on one hike one day, I saw 3 tracks tearing down a tank trail at Quantico, spewing mud, knocked a tree over, and that was it. I was in love. So I was really fortunate to get the MOS and have the experiences and friendships that we could go on for days talking about.
Right.
So as you know, I spent my time as a platoon commander in Charlie Platoon 2nd Tracks. Went back there as a company commander and had Bravo Company, the battery, as it was referred to. I never really liked that. I'm going to piss some people off, but battery's artillery. But I loved it, and I love the folks that referred to Bravo Company that way.
Right.
I got to go to the West Coast, which is good. So I'm not tethered to one coast either mentally or loyally. I love 2nd Tracks and my time there, but I got to spend time as the executive officer of 3rd Tracks for a while, and doing that and getting ready to go to Iraq as an advisor, and then blessed with the opportunity to be the CO of our schoolhouse, where we all tie our roots to down there in Del Mar, spending time in the LVT Museum, the Yaz building, and the one place that really brings us all together to that deck plate. That's where we became trackers. We were Marines, and that's the most important, but that's where we became trackers. So that's enough about me. Really, this is about what we're trying to do, and we're going to get this done, like trackers always do. We are going to get this done, but we definitely need some help. And you are a big part of this by bringing me on here today. So thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, John. And, you coming on here, it means a lot to me as well. We're both enthusiastic and passionate about this mission. Just real briefly, for the audience, from 1993 to 1998, I served in the 2nd Assault Amphibian Battalion. The highlight of my tours there were 3 24th MEUs with BLT 36, 38, and 28. And then I was part of the direct reporting program manager of AAV in Virginia for 4 years. That was renamed to EFE. That was a phenomenal tour where I got to do firepower testing, water testing, land testing.
Yep.
And then subsequently, I went back to 2nd Tracks from 2002 to 2005. And I was an AAV guy during the push OIF-1.
Yep.
And then I finished out my tour of 2nd one in Iraq. And then I left the MOS, unfortunately, after about 12 years. And I had a great time in the MOS. It was amazing. All you guys out there that I served with that are going to be watching this, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. You guys are wonderful.
Yeah. Hey, Mark, if I could, you just reminded me of a 3-year experience that I look back upon at PP&O in the Pentagon. I'm glad I had the tour. I didn't love it while I was doing it. But yeah, working with you guys down at AAV and EFE, doing some miraculous things, even though that program, for a number of reasons, we won't get into it, it wasn't bought or seen to fruition, but a lot of the capability, technology, lethality, survivability things that we've learned really are integrated. And the other thing that we did, same time work with you guys, was getting the fleet rammed. getting that Bradley suspension and the upgrades to the engine and transmission, getting those onto MPF after going up to Baghdad and back and getting them on MPF. So yeah, thanks for reminding me of that nightmare, man.
Hey, think about it, man. The 30 millimeter chain gun got introduced, through that program. So it wasn't all for nothing. There was a lot of good data that came out.
Well, you guys working in firepower, you guys like Kirk Mullins, who's tied to this effort as well with the memorial, all the work you do with munitions. That's going to pay off. When we put a cannon on the ACV, people are going to be grateful for the work that folks did at AAAV in the EFE program and down at AVTB and PMAA. So it's all intertwined. And just like our community needs to be.
Right, correct. All right, so we're going to roll, John, into I'd ask you to please, provide a brief summary, kind of like what your role is to make up the memorial team, where the memorial, just give us the grassroots level of the memorial, where we're at, what we're doing, how we got there. If you take a couple minutes to expound upon that, please.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. It's a tracker story, frankly. And so 4 years ago, Colonel Kirk Mullins came to me and Sergeant Major LeHew and said, "Hey, we're the only community in the GCE that doesn't have a memorial on the memorial walk." And it was a master of the obvious, shining flash of the obvious that we got to fix this injustice in the world. We also recognize that we're the only GCE community that doesn't recognize its Marines, operators, mechanics, gunners. At the GCE ground dinner at PP&O, we got to address that too. And can we combine this effort? And then the last leg of this stool was to revisit an effort that's been tried. Oh God, probably for the last 30 years to establish a no kidding community association that pulled all the battalions together into one association where. You can do all sorts of things. Most memorial monument type efforts or come out of an existing association. We're going to kind of back into one, we hope. And then we really started thinking about, hey, we want to continue this to take care of our young Marines and their families as this transitions from a built memorial to an association. So looking at how do we help with educational needs-based issues with the Marines out in the track battalions, whether they're an 1833 or a motor T drive or whatever they're doing out there. You serve in a track battalion, you're part of the family. So that's where it got started. And Kirk came to us, and Justin and I grabbed onto it. Kirk was in acquisition at the time, so he couldn't be involved in an effort that included fundraising and working with industry for the defense industry or anybody for that matter. So. And so I was getting ready to transition, and I said, "Hey, I'll take this on." And my sister Peg, who's a professional graphic artist and an amazing talent, and over a countertop on a cocktail napkin, the design that we have we have now that's been approved by the Marine Corps, that's been embraced by the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation. And a quick aside, the design which you can see at our website. General Blackman, Rusty Blackman, who was the CEO of the Heritage Foundation, when he saw it, he said, "This is exactly what the Heritage Walk is missing. This will be the crown jewel of the Heritage Walks," which is a testament to the vision of my sister, who put it together on a cocktail napkin after about 20 minutes of a history lesson of our community from me and Justin. And
thank you, Peg, for that. Thank you, Peg.
She's amazing, and I got to give her a shout out, not because she's my sister. It's because the work alone, her intellectual property, the hours she has put in, probably certainly six figures worth of billable time to her. Yeah. Probably close to $200,000. She's gifting that to our community and this memorial, and she's also the one that fulfills all the, when somebody donates and they get a coin or they get a T-shirt or they get a print, she's running all that fulfillment for us. Right. Just it's amazing, and we've got a lot of folks that are supporting that aren't directly tied to the community either, other than by family. So I'm not being nepotistic here. We owe her a great debt. So. Yeah. We got that approved by the Marine Corps Historical Division, and we cleared that easily. Talked about General Blackman's comments. 3 CEOs later, we're still lined up with the probably the most important rally point on the Marine Corps Heritage Walk, right near Sergeant Reckless. It's the confluence of three walks. So it's going to be awesome. The one thing I'll say, and this is important because at the end of the day, we only get this done with money, donations, is we've got to up our effort a bit and up our inputs a bit on the donation side, because that rally point is coveted. There's other folks that want it, and we're demonstrating enough progress right now to hold it, but we've got to close, and we got to close soon. So so that's how we got there, and where we are now, just to kind of wrap this up, is we've just contracted with an unbelievable sculptor out of Montana. His name is Gareth Curtis. Old school, does everything by hand, which is fitting for this. And Klein Memorials will do the kind of the stonework and all the prep work of the site for us. So that's the team, and we're together. So we've got the plan, we've got the design, we've got the talent, we've got the leadership, volunteers on our board, and so far it's only been a couple of us, 3 or 4 of us that have been doing this for the last 4 years. We're growing a little bit now. A lot of out-of-pocket money. We do not take anything off the top for administration. We've been covering that out of pocket as kind of donation in kind. We got guys like Chris Holman, 214149, who stepped in and has been supportive financially, but really helping us plug into industry, helping us with supporting IT through Buzz Media. And Logan Creech down in South Carolina. So we got a hook and crook lash up going on, like you would expect to see from trackers, and we're there. Bottom line is, the only thing we don't have is the money we need to cross the line of departure. And we've got some corporate folks interested and lined up. We think we've gotten as far as we've gotten, and just kind of step back. We think we need to raise about $450,000, $500,000. We are a little bit under $200,000. We've got a really beautiful grant from BAE Industries. But this is a really important point, Mark, and I think you'll appreciate it. A significant amount of the money we've raised has come from small donations from Marines who served one term. A lot of junior enlisted guys, NCOs that served one term, or we've got guys like Master Sergeant Smargy right now out, and I might be killing his name, but he's out at 29 Palms, Master Sergeant taking care of his family. Every month we get a donation from him without fail, and we have several people like that. So it's pretty incredible. But the youngsters, the one-term Marines, they've been unreal, and we owe this to them. We owe it to them.
Yeah, and I'll inject this, that when I put the YouTube video up and I make some social media posts, I'll put the link to the memorial on there, and there's a variety of different ways you can donate. Like for me, I donate $18.33 every month. Also, I bought a brick that was $300. So if my grandkids or anybody in my family lineage someday goes down that museum, they will see a brick with my name and my tours that I did, as a Yazzer down there. So I wanted to throw out a challenge to my 2141 buddy real quick. His name is Dean Oriel. I'm telling you, Dean Oriel, probably not a lot of people remember him, know him, but he's the best mechanic in the track community. And he's really successful now. So Dean Oriel, I challenge you to the $21.41 donation per month and get your ass a brick. So that's for you, buddy. So step it up. All right. So that's your Chabot challenge, brother. My Chabot challenge to all these trackers out there is $18.33 a month. That's the number that I do. I love my MOS, and that's the dollar that I donate every month. So, hey, those of you out there who could join me in that effort, every little bit counts. It would be really appreciated.
Hey, Mark, you mind if I jump in on that and just touch upon the different ways people can donate? All of it, by the way, is tax deductible. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. So you talked about bricks. Those are through the Marine Corps Heritage Foundation. Right now, we've paused that access through our site because we're working through that. But how to make that work with them. But that's their stuff. When you buy a $300 brick, they donate $90 per brick to the memorial. Other things you can do is go online if you just want to make a straight donation. That's fine. You can do that any size. Yeah. We have a button on our website, assaultamphibianmemorial.com or amphiboustractormemorial.com. Both take you to the same place. We have a swag shop. If you donate under certain categories, we've got an unbelievable coin that reflects the memorial. We've Battalion Challenge. So if you want to go in and find the Battalion Challenge, you donate, $20 when by the time we go to build the memorial, the battalion that has donated the most per end strength. So we give 4th tracks a pretty good shot. They have top billing on one of the placards on our memorial wall. So that's something you think you might want to fight for if your love is your battalion. On the back wall, it's an in memoriam wall. So we have units that went to combat that crowd fund. The minimum to get on the wall is $1,000 and position and if you go up in over 1,000, your position will be different, but you'll be reflected. So etched for eternity, memorializing a buddy that was a brother that was killed in combat or however they were killed. We have Gold Star mothers that have gotten together and raised the money to memorialize their sons that were killed in Iraq or Afghanistan or elsewhere. We've got crowdfunding to do that from Vietnam groups. The AmGrunts have raised money to honor the Vietnam era. And that's what we want to do. We want to honor all trackers, every generation, every platform. We want to memorialize those that gave all. But heck, if you want to donate $1,000 and from your high school class, raise the money and have your high school class on the wall, that's fine, because you'll have helped us get this done. And the last thing I'll say about this is anybody that donates anything, whether it's $5 or $10 or just $10 a month, it doesn't matter. You will be a part owner of this memorial. You have a piece of this. Your blood, sweat, and tears are part of our legacy. We want to enshrine that legacy and we want to carry it forward. And we had, the legacy of World War II was handed down to the Korea guys. They had to carry that burden forward. And the Korean guys passed it to Vietnam. Vietnam passed it down to us. Now we're handing it off to those that are coming up with the ACV. And we want that legacy to continue with them. And it's about being Semper Fidelis in action, being Semper Fidelis to our legacy, our history, our legend, our lore, even the crazy stuff we did. It's all a part of being a tracker. Tracker's a mindset, by the way, in my opinion. Yeah. It's not a suspension. Amtrak means, and I'm not patronizing, but those that don't know, it's amphibious tractor. It has nothing to do with tracks or wheels. We have a vehicle coming online now that's got wheels. It is an Amtrak. It's an amphibious tractor. And a huge piece of this is handing this legacy to those guys, and girls, young Marines, male and female, doesn't matter, that they know they're trackers and they still walk with the same swagger, the same attitude, the same can-do mindset that can be grunts one day and launching off a ship the next day. Because if we don't, we're going to lose them. And we're going to lose that spirit, that fire in them that trackers carry when they swing a Maddox handle. So I know I just went on a rant there. I'm
right. I am passionate. I can't imagine a Marine Corps, the National Museum for the Marine Corps, which represents all encompassing the Marine Corps. And there's little elements in there of, amphibious operations. You walk in the front door and you got, the reenactment of terror over there. And the next wing that's opened up in the back, when they're going through the 90s and stuff, there's a P7A1 that will be there as you're walking through those war times in there of the more modern day. But to me, the most important, element and what made the Marine Corps so unique for so long was that amphibious capability. And really the only true amphibious capability that actually the Marine Corps possessed was the AAV. Just can't imagine the National Museum Marine Corps not having that memorialized. So when these guys get older, they can bring their grandkids in and say, hey, that's what I did right there. But to have it by itself, not embedded in another element of the museum, but solely by itself in a beautiful grassy area at Quantico, Virginia, where, in my opinion, its rightful place in the Marine Corps belongs.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And when you can threaten by air and by surface, that's pretty important. And with our Navy, Navy Marine Corps team being able to move up and down a coast and choose where we're going to do that, I couldn't agree with you more. And it's important. As I talked about ACV, while the main memorial image is of the LVT going across the reef, which I've never seen a picture of. We've looked and we've talked. Capturing going across the reef, which is what this vehicle was initially designed for, the LVT, which caused the defenders on Japanese, thinking they were behind an impenetrable coral reef, to claim when they saw the Marines in tracks go across that reef, they exclaimed, "The gods of death have come," and it did come for them, all of them, and that's an amazing piece. But that LVT-1, just like I talked about the schoolhouse, we all track our roots to. We all go back to the Alligator in Dunedin and the LVT-1. And it's the one vehicle that we felt, and that's why we chose it, represents us. So it's not about the battalion. It's, second tracks, fought at Tarawa. That's not why we picked it. We picked it because the LVT-1 was the thing that we could all draw back to. And that's important. On our memorial wall as well, we're going to have, in bronze, you're going to see an LVT-3C, you're going to see an LVT-4, you're going to see the LVT-P5, the AAV R7, the P7A1, and the ACV. And that's our legacy. And that's spans our history from 1942 when Alligator Marines crossed the reef, across the beaches at Guadalcanal. And again, shout out to my brothers and sisters out at Third Tracks. But when the LVT was used as designed the first time at Bloody Tarawa.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, to me, to all the Yat-Yassers out there, regardless whether you are, 1833, 2141, but the commitment and the fact is that, matter of fact, I told this story today to one of my colleagues and said, by the time, we drop people off, drop whatever it is, our work has just begun.
That's right.
Our work has just begun. So I would hope that you carry yourselves with a whole lot of pride out there, knowing that you're a part-time operator, part-time machine gunner, part-time mechanic, part-time, maintainer, part-time, doing everything, all encompassing, that one mission of just making sure that either logistics or personnel got to the fight, and being diverse in your mission to be able to use that vehicle in a variety of different capabilities. I've seen those vehicles drive over walls, during coin operations. I mean, what a platform for the Marine Corps. I mean, the P7A1, which is the only one I can speak to, John, that might have been the best investment the Marine Corps has ever made, the best piece of equipment of all time. The thing is almost timeless. It's still out there operating today. That's how good it is.
I agree with you. And our partners around the world are using it, buying new versions, and they're operating them all over the place. And I'm not getting into, the AAV, being suspended for water operations right now. I know that's probably a morale killer, but I want those Marines to keep their head high because
absolutely
ACV's coming, and I know I'm going to probably get hate mail, but it's coming. As I said, it's an Amtrak as far as I'm concerned. And they'll be in the water again. And our partners around the world are still operating in the water. And when it comes down to it, I can't disagree with you. How versatile that vehicle was, and how really complex in some ways, but really simple in others.
Yes.
And I always marveled at that. And I love my time. I'd go back and do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I would say that, I still have, the Yat-Yass pride. I mean, right here on my podcast, my back wall, that is, the only words that are on my wall is that right there. Yat-Yass. Yeah. So I still carry, that immense pride associated with the MOS, and just remember, I have all those fond memories of being in the vehicles and running and gunning and stuff. And I would just ask that, everybody out here who's tuned in to please, if we talk a lot about community and we talk a lot about Semper Fidelis. We just got to take a little bit bigger of a bite of the apple, to achieve our goal. So I don't want to make this to be like a money pitch. So I'll say this to you, I will work for you. This podcast is a podcast for a variety of different, reasons. by merely viewing and subscribing to this will help me donate more money to the AAV Memorial. So allow me to work for you. If you don't have, if you're not able to donate, and that's totally okay. Let me do that. And I would just say that just remember that what you did was unique. What you did was special. Your service was not for naught. It was meant something. And being a Yaz guy, being a tracker means a lot. It's a very respected MOS. But I would just say let's just continue to strive to pull it all together. And let's get behind this effort. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. I mean, I just cannot wait for the day that this dream that I have, that I see, on the webpage becomes a reality. Because I live in Woodbridge, Virginia. I could drive right down there and I'll take pictures for you and I'll send them to you for those of you that can't make it. I mean, when Marines get challenged with a mission, we're going to do it. And we're going to run through a wall to get it.
Hey, Mark, man, I love you like a brother. You know that, not just because of what you just said, but listen, every little bit helps. And, we put something out the other day. We have 3,200 Facebook followers. And if you want to find us on Facebook, there's so much information. We're very active. And you can find us at Assault Amphibian on Facebook. We have 3,200 followers. If every follower donated $10 or $10 a month, we'd be done. And frankly, my dream when we started this was we would do this without corporate help. We would do it as a community and show that, look, when we're standing out there amongst right next to the tank memorial, which ours is it's a whole nother level. Ours is, we hold our head pride. So we did this. But we did do this. If you can't donate, fine, spread the word. That's all we ask. We know it's hard times economically. We know there's folks out there living on retirement. We know that the charity space is really crowded.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you for allowing me, to be a visual to back up your website and to back up your social media posts. I'm incredibly grateful, not just because, you're my brother from Massachusetts, and Lieutenant Atkinson and Lance Corporal Chabot are in the same company.
That's really.
I tell you, man, I hope that this can, put a little bit of emphasis on it. And I'll throw it over to you for safe rounds before I close it out, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mark, thanks again. It's an honor to be here. It's great to see you. I love what you're doing on Left, Right, Left. Looking out for other Marines. It's embodying those leadership traits and principles. They're not an acronym, you got to live them and embody them. And you are. It's about the mission. Last is just, visit us. We were on Facebook at Assault Amphibian. You'll find us on Facebook or on Instagram. And then the website again is assaultamphibianmemorial.com or amphibioustractormemorial.com. And there's a ton of information on there. You can see everything we're up to. And on Facebook, we regularly put out, our fundraising progress. And we need to make progress. We really need to bump this up quite a bit, by May, quite frankly. And my goal is to raise $50,000 by May. If we do that, then we are going to cross the line of departure. And our sculptor is going to start bending clay and getting the bronze and the brass and everything else heated up to form into this thing. So do what you can, and if that's just spreading the word, spread the word.
Yeah. Hey, I agree, John. I mean, I think we can do it. I still have a lot of confidence, in our community pulling together. Great people out there. It's just a matter of just raising the awareness a little bit. And I know we're going to close.
Yeah, I know. Marines never fail to accomplish a mission. We never have, ever. Center Beach on time, man. Center Beach on time.
Hands down. No doubt about it. Hey, I think we'll wrap it up here for tonight, John, and we'll do this again. And I look forward, to having you on again, and and giving an update on progress and providing a visual behind how we're doing as we continue to progress and unfold. To everybody else out there, to all the trackers out there, I just want to say, yes to you. I appreciate you guys very much. I love you, and I hope that you will support this AAV Memorial. Hey, thanks for what you do. God bless you all, and take care.
Yeah, and Semper Fi.
Absolutely, brother. Take care.